Hello, my dears. Daniela here, and welcome to another episode of the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. I have such an awesome interview for you guys today. So you may, if you've ever attended a webinar, a Facebook Live of mine, you know that I have talked quite a bit about the 90X planner. I'll show you guys. You've seen me posting about this. This is a planner that even if you look at my background shelves, I've got my past planners up there. This is something that I use religiously in my business. And I love it so much because what I teach is that in our business, any business that you have, as you're looking, you have these big picture goals. There's big things that you want to accomplish. But those big goals seem so overwhelming. If the goal that we talk about all the time is, I want to make 100,000 in revenue, right? How many solo estheticians do you hear say, I want to make 100,000 in revenue in my business? That seems overwhelming. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how I'm going to do that. If you take that and you break it down into a quarter, and you say, okay, I've got to make $25,000 in this quarter, January, February, March. Then from there, you say, all right, I'm working 5 days a week. That means that if I do the math and figure that out, I need to do $400 a day to hit $100,000 in revenue for the year. So how does that feel? Just think about that for a minute. Can you do $400 in a day? That's so much lighter, so much easier than saying, can you do 100,000 in a year? So $400 in a day, that's maybe 2 lash clients. That's 3 facials and some products. I mean, break it down however makes sense for the services that you're offering. But if you have something like a planner that you are writing down your goals, checking in with yourself every single day, writing your attention so you can stay focused, that will make you so much more likely and so much, I don't want to say guaranteed, but it will get you so much closer to actually reaching your goals. Now, the 90X planner, when you guys get one of these, they've got all kinds of like breaking down breaking down your goal, breaking down the main actions, breaking down what you're going to do each day, revisiting your goals. It is awesome. So I highly recommend you get yourself one of these, fill it out, and just keep going for your goals. Now, to get back to the subject of this whole podcast, I had the founder of 90X Planners. His name's Alon. We are actually in the same coaching group, in the same mastermind. And I met him and I was just like, oh my gosh, I use your planners. I'm such a big fan of your company. We became friends and he agreed to come on the podcast. So he tells a little bit of his story, how he came up with the planners, how he created his system, gives some motivational tips, and also has an awesome discount for anyone that wants to get a planner for yourself. So check it out. Without further ado, here is that interview with Alon. All right, my dears, I am here with Alon David, the creator of the 90X Planner. And you guys know that I love the 90X Planners. I know so many of you guys love the 90X Planners. So I was so thrilled when Alon decided to join us. So Alon, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I was waiting for this for a long time. I'm so happy to be here finally.
Oh, wonderful. So let's get into, I know that our listeners here have been using the planners. I love the concept of taking your goals and breaking them into quarters, breaking them into chunks. It makes them just feel so much more achievable. So can you just kind of walk us back a little bit? Tell us a little bit about your story, how you decided to create these 90X planners, because we see so many planners out there, but I don't know anybody else that does these in chunks like this and incorporates the vision boarding and the, like recapping and all of the like essential pieces that make these planners so amazing.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll talk to you a little bit about the creation of this to kind of understand how this whole thing came about happening. I mean, but I was always a goal-oriented person, because I felt that I need to have structure to be able to achieve my goals. I mean, coming over here 22 years ago and making $5 an hour, that for 3 years cleaning up trash, being an immigrant, I had to do what I had to do to survive, to make this happen. But as I got, as I stayed longer and I got all my paperwork in order, I was working, but it was always about reaching a goal, because it was just, I'm the type of person, being an Israeli, I mean, I just have a lot of structure in my life, and it was always about reaching a goal. And without a goal, I would just, I feel like you're just walking with no, there's nothing happening, like there's no direction. But if I move forward, I mean, creating multiple businesses, multiple six-figure businesses, when I wanted to create this planner, when I wanted to create something that will give me structure for goals, I was looking at a lot of other products, like you mentioned, other goal planners are out there. But I noticed that they're all lacking the system. They all talk to you about goals and write your goals, but there's just no end. There's no extra. What steps am I going to take every day? How am I going to achieve the goal? Writing the goal, it's easy. You can all write the goal. But if you don't have a system in play, then it's going to be very difficult to achieve your goal.
So let me interrupt you real quick here. So you said that you created several different six-figure businesses. When you were creating this planner, were you kind of looking at what did I do to be able to achieve that kind of success?
Yes.
And then,
So 2010, I started my photography business after quitting, my construction business for 7 years. I started a photography business from zero, 1/1/2010, and I had no leads, no information, no photography skills, nothing like that. But I had my system. I knew that was my goal, is to make this a successful company in San Diego. And I followed my system. But throughout that, to make it easier for me, I was always looking for tools. Like, what else can I do to learn? And I've noticed there isn't anything out there. And I procrastinated for many years about creating this product. But then eventually I decided 2017, end of 2016, to create my own product. And to take everything I've learned, everything I've done, everything I've used in my own life, because I needed to survive. I need to make this happen by setting goals and actually putting it into a plan, into something, because I couldn't find. Like I said, I ordered probably over 30 of them, different ones, to look for something that helped. But everything had complicated questions, quite complicated words and sentences and systems, and I just wanted something minimalistic, clean, that will help me to get from point A to point B. Mm-hmm. And I just decided to go for it. It was a scary moment, because you're going from a service world, right? It's photography, I'm providing a service, to now creating a product, an actual product, physical product, import, export, taxes. There's a lot of things involved. Samples go wrong, printings go wrong. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. But I'm also the type of person that's not going to wait for it to be perfect. This planner is not 100% perfect, and it never will be. But therefore, I'm going to keep making more and more and perfecting as best as I can. But I'm going to put it out there, and I'm not going to procrastinate to wait for it to be perfect, because that was never going to happen. So
do you think that because that's a skill right there, the fact that you can just keep going. And I noticed, I've been using your planners. I've got my already completed ones on my shelves back here. And I notice the change in myself as I go through and use each planner, because every 90 days I'll have a new goal. And I noticed the first one, I was writing in there and I wasn't using it the same way as I am now. I was like, well, I don't want to rewrite this, or I'm going to just write affirmations in there. And I would do something different every time. And then I can notice if I don't pay attention and I have 2 weeks where the pages are empty, and it's it allows me to go back and kind of reflect, where was I in my life? What was going on? But I've noticed, to kind of circle back here, I've noticed that as I go through the planners, I'm less and less concerned with am I filling it out right, or is it perfect, to figuring out what is the right method for me. And for you, like being an entrepreneur, I feel like that's a big skill, is to be able to move past that perfectionism.
Exactly. And that you're exactly right. I mean, and I think that's the biggest mistake people do, is they try to make things perfect. And people literally will email us like, I didn't do a week of planning. What should I do? Well, keep going. I mean, there's just nothing you can do, is just keep going. And really, that's the thing. This planner is very simple. You write your goals, you got your reasons, you write your action, and you keep going. If you skip the week, stop, reset, refocus, and keep going. So it's all about taking action. And I believe that even if you take one action a day, it's 90 actions in 90 days, you're going to get way closer to your goal than you ever want. But for me, also perfection, like I said, I came from a photography industry where I was not a photographer, not an assistant, didn't have a portfolio, but I decided to just keep going. Whatever happens, happens. And I was able to be was successful within 1 year and earn multiple awards, a couple of years after that, without having the skill. But it's practice, as you know. You have to keep practicing and keep practicing. But if you're waiting for the perfect moment, I have not found it. I'm not waiting for it, because I'm keep going. And that's the thing, is a lot of people want it to be perfect and the perfect writing. No, just adapt it to yours, whatever it is that you're doing, make it work for you. That's why it's undated. We're not limiting you. We're giving you the tools. It's open, and just keep writing and keep going. And as long as you take action, you are going to be successful. You are going to move forward.
So let's talk about the 90X. Like, why 90 days?
So the reason it's called, first of all, 90X is because it took me around 90 days to create this product. And I believe that if I cannot create a product or a service within 90 days, and I think James believes that as well, and a lot of other people that I associate with, I'm just not doing it. So if it's going to take me a year or 2 years to create this, I'm just not doing it. I'm going to get fed up with the idea. I'm going to get bored, and I'm just going to end up doing something else. I'm going to end up procrastinating. I rather fail in 90 days increments, because I know I can get up and start again, rather than invest a year of my time and then discover that this is not working. So I just wasted a year of my time and money, and I have to restart again. So 90 days is a good number. It works for me. I can use it 4 times a year. It's a good time to stop and measure. It takes about 67 days to create a habit and form into a habit. And 90 days, it just turns to be a lifestyle. So that's the reason between 90 days. It's a lot easier for you to accomplish something in 90 days, and small chunks. And it's okay to have a big goal, but small chunks. But then also not get fed up with the idea, within 90 days. You shouldn't be fed up. And that's the reason, we put the why behind it as well. But that's the reason it's 90 days and not a year, not 5 years. And some people reach out, you should make a 1 year plan. Well, no, I don't want to. Get more of those, get a 1 year. But I don't want to do a 1 year planner. I don't want to do 1 year goals. I do have big goals. Everybody should have big goals, but it should be broken down to smaller increments to get to that one big goal. And you'll notice that always your goal is going to get bigger and bigger as you get closer to it. You can change things and things can move.
So for me, one thing that I have noticed as I've kind of gone through the planners, and I actually think I think this is my 5th one right here that I'm getting ready for January. And then I also have the action planner, which I love. And I'm going to start getting them all in rose gold, because I love the rose gold. But I choose, so in the beginning of these planners, I'm just going to show in here, you give top 5 goals. And one thing that I have always done, I found personally that 5 goals was too much for me. It's worked best for me to have 1 goal. And maybe that's my brain, or I don't know. What do you think? Why did you choose 5?
I think 5 was enough if somebody wanted to use like a couple for their business, couple for the personal.
Uh-huh.
So it's a good enough space for them to do. Again, there's no rules. Like we said, it doesn't have to be perfect. I am using the action planner, and I'm using 1 goal right now. That's just 1 goal that I'm working on. Before this, I did the goal planner, and I had 5 goals, business goals. So it's really a free opportunity to everybody do whatever their job. If one works for you, I would say good, as long as you complete it. Some people want 5 goals. Some people complain, hey, why there's no room for more? I mean, if you have more goals, great. And purchase another one and do it at the same time. But I think it works good for, and again, there's no rule behind it. There's no reason 5. I just think 5 is a good number. It works good. You can do a couple of personal, couple of business goals and see how they work. Maybe you have joint goals with your team. You can do multiple things. I'm doing just what yourself for now is one goal. I'm working just on one goal for the next 90 days. And then after that, I might have some more goals. But there's just no reason behind it. But it is freehand. Do whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong. That's what people need. There's no right or wrong. As long as you open it every day and take action, there's no right or wrong.
So a lot of our listeners, or the majority of our listeners, are solo estheticians or they're estheticians working in a spa. But most of them that are loving the planners are solo estheticians. So they are one-woman shows running their businesses. They're performing the treatments and doing all of the admin that goes into running a business, the marketing and so on. And one thing that I've gotten some questions about is because they will set the 1-year goals and then it's like, okay, well, how do I break that down? And so I think that whether you choose 1 goal or 5 goals, there's so many different steps. Like I have one big goal of something I want to accomplish in my business, but it's very complex. It's not just like create this social media post or whatever, So I think that the advice that I want to share to the estheticians out there is, yes, still have your big picture plan. We have an idea of what you want to accomplish for yourself. And then, maybe your goal is to get to $100,000 in revenue. That's a pretty common goal for solo estheticians. So you even each quarter could be get to 25,000 this quarter. And then you break that down by month, by day, and all of your actions could be what are you going to do to generate that revenue? How are you going to hold yourself accountable? So that makes it much more complex. And I don't know, Alon, what do you think? Do you actually fill out all of your tasks ahead of time, or do you fill them out day by day?
So what I do, once I have my big goal, like yourself, I have a big goal. That's my intention. That's my big goal that's on my vision board, which is right in front of me, actually. I then identify what it is that I want to work on for the next 90 days, breaking it down, right? I have to make sense. If I'm building a house, I'm not going to start from the roof because I have to work on the foundation first and the framing and the plumbing and then go from there. So I'm looking at my long-term goal as my blueprint, right? And then my 90-day goal is my vision for the next 90 days. So that's my blueprint is my big picture. The vision is where I start. However, the way I start my day is before I even open any technology, any phones, any text, any replying, any messengers or anything else, I open my planner and I write down my intentions for today, whether it's 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things, or 5 things. Depends on which one. Depends if we're using the goal planner or the action planner, right? It's 5 versus 3. Then I write down what I have going on throughout the day and then my follow do, what I would like to accomplish today. The next step, what I do is I eliminate anything that takes under 2 minutes. Anything that I think you can do quick to eliminate under 2 minutes. And then I notice half my follow do, half my to-do list is gone already by just doing that small task. And then I work on my big intentions of the day. So my big actions towards my 90-day goal. After that, I go back to what I have left. And if it carries over to the next day, I know fine because it wasn't that important. But that's pretty much the way I do it. So some days it will be full all the way to the corner that you can't see anything. And some days it will just be light. Just depends what I have going on today. But as long as I'm working towards my goal and I'm not changing course.
Mm-hmm. So how do you hold yourself accountable? Is it just staying committed to opening the planner every single day, or what? How do you, because that's a challenging thing.
Correct. It is. And it takes time. It takes practice. It takes repetition to be able to do that. But I have those things on my desks. On my desk, and it's right here. I have one in my car. I have one over here in my thing. Obviously, they surround me everywhere. But it's taking that action and making sure you're doing it every day. You just have to do that. By repetition of doing it one day, and then it just turns to be part of your lifestyle that you just cannot do, and you feel wrong if you're not doing it. If you know what I mean? You just feel wrong, like, I just cheated myself. So I try not to touch anything else with technology, and I just by repetition doing it. Even my guys that come to work to the studio, either from the person that packs and ships them to the warehouse, receiving, whatever, they all start this before they show up. They don't do anything before they write their goals, even if it's just packing 20 boxes, whatever. I don't care. They have to do it because everybody wanted to do. You have to have a system, because if not, you're shooting all over the direction, and you're not gonna be as productive. I feel productivity equals success and money. So I want to be 100% productive first.
So what's the biggest goal you've ever accomplished?
There's a lot. My biggest goal so far is in February, we moved to LA. And we own a house in San Diego. And I don't know if you lived in California, but it's not cheap. It's like Hawaii, I think it's like Washington. My goal was to purchase a house within 30 days without selling my house in San Diego. That was my biggest goal. So I was able to purchase another house in LA, leaving the house in San Diego, and doing that in 30 days.
Wow. And you did.
And I did, yeah, because I'm over here in LA now, and we have a house in San Diego because we wanted to sell it. And I was like, how can I figure out a way without renting a house in LA? And we're talking LA. I mean, it's upper 700. That's what it costs for a shack. It's not even a nice looking house. This is LA. And San Diego, it's the same thing. But that was my biggest goal. And I put my intention to it, and I just follow the steps, and I trust the process.
So you used your planner for that?
Oh, yeah, all day long. I mean, because it was just easier for me. It's a guide, right? Why would I just write it all over the place, use emails, technology? If I can just put everything over here, have a goal, have a vision, and just follow one step at a time, and it will come, because we also have the universe to help us in this direction. So you're putting it out there, you're waiting for the universe to do its job, but then you have to do yours as well. And I did use my planner, and within 30 days, not just we found a property, I was able to get a loan and close on a property.
Wow.
Within 30 days. So that was a big goal for me while we have the other house. So.
Very cool. So tell me a little bit more. I know that your company is growing and expanding, and you have started offering some coaching or some mentoring. Tell me a little bit more about that, what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so when I started last year, I mean, this planet just has been on the shelf since like April of 2017, so not that long. So since then, I've had people reach out to me about coaching, and plus I joined James Whitmore, as you know, and I've learned about everybody else the possibilities. So we, besides just going from a planet that's black and white, 2 colors, to 32 different options and colors and combinations and things like that, we also, Jim, added one-on-one coaching, which goes with me. And next week, we're starting a beta group for group coaching as well, and some other things, and membership side coming as well in the future. But I decided doing the coaching again, helping people reach their goals, the ones that really, really want to make change, and then starting the group coaching, which is also a test for me. It's a beta. I've never done it. Mm-hmm. But I said, why not? I mean, I have the people that want it, and I will try to help. Develop a system to help people. So we're going to do it hand in hand with the goal plan. It's the same. It's going to work with that. We're just going to do it together as a group.
That's awesome. For me, I found that the greatest way to hold myself accountable is by being in a group of people that you share your goals with. And so I think that that's awesome that you're creating that opportunity, that space for people that are looking for others to kind of have that accountability buddy to go through the goals.
Oh, yeah. So. And the community is amazing. I mean, people are reaching out to each other by themselves. We have 2 groups. We have the beta that's going to start next week, but we have the actual 90X group. The people are there, and they're helping each other. And it's amazing. It's amazing to see people really reaching out to other people and helping and creating friendships. I mean, like the James Whitmore community, it's the same thing. And I've just enjoyed it. I mean, it really gives me it gives me actually chills right now, but I mean, it gives me a lot of happiness to see the change happening and people helping each other. To get closer and pushing each other. It's a lot easier when you have people helping you than you just trying to do it by yourself.
Well, and the famous Jim Rohn quote that says you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And now that we have the power of the internet, it's like those 5 people don't have to be, in your backyard. There can be people that, if you are really wanting to grow your business or accomplish a goal, and you can check in 24 hours a day online and have someone there to support you and connect with you. And it's so important. So let everyone know how they can find you, how they can follow you. We'll include everything in the show notes, but just how can they stay in touch with you?
Yeah, I mean, they can follow us on Instagram. We're on 90x Gold Planner. If they wanted to get a planner, it's on 90xgoldplanner.com, which they can get one. I'm also going to send you a 25% off. And I don't know if you have one, but one that you can share with your audience. So it can be in the show notes. So they have to listen to the podcast to find out that.
Oh, awesome.
So I'll give you the code. I'll email it. I'll send it to you later. So you can include that 25% off. And if they mention in the note somewhere that they came from you, we'll also include a sticker pack, which I don't know if you have, but I think you have, and a pen. So they'll get a planner, a sticker pack, and a pen. It's undated. They can start right away. They have no excuse not to make a start.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. You guys, be sure to get your 90X planner. There's no excuse whether you're listening to this in January, February, March. It doesn't matter. You can start whenever you want. There's no right or wrong. Just start. Take the next step. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alon, and I will see you guys on the next episode.